Alright folks, we are out here in the garden and I want to show you a little problem that we've been having lately. One thing, we've had bunnies getting into the garden, and now we've gotten to a point where our biggest problem are birds. And I might be able to show you on a couple of tomatoes. Anyway, let's see. I'm looking for an example. I'm looking at the green ones too. Yep. I'm looking at the green ones as well. Here's an example of blossom end rot. So this is caused by irregular watering. The plant can't use the calcium from the soil, and then that's when you get blossom end rot. So we'll just chuck that over there. And Kim said that she found a couple of tomatoes that have been nibbled on by birds, and I'm not seeing them. Let me walk around here. There's a really ripe one. That's what they normally go for. And yep, they sure did. That one right there. This one has a bug in it, but I think the birds started this and then the bug got into it. So once again, this one gets chucked. So that's an example. So we put an electric fence here for the bunnies. He's still getting through that. So we're ordering an electric netting to keep him out. Yeah, and then I've got the netting from last year. Last year I had to put netting over the strawberries because
alligators was eating dead plant material or
he is so into digging right now that he doesn't even notice that we're right here. So, what'd you say, Kim? Pill bugs or?
I'm hoping he's eating pill bugs.
Yeah, me too. I think we should.
He was eating. Yeah, I see him chewing.
Oh,
he's eating something.
Good.
Good for him.
Then let's leave him alone. Okay, one thing I noticed, or I realized, is that I haven't been showing you the process of everything that we've been doing. So I'll show you the finished product over there of a couple of things that we've done. But this one post hole, then I haven't finished yet. I need to dig one post hole. There's diggers in it. I'll show you what they look like once I put the camera back on the tripod. And there's the diggers, the dirt, the auger rather. The dirt is so rocky here that I started with the auger. I couldn't get it all the way drilled all the way down because of all the rocks. It was really rough. So now I'm just trying to clear out the loose dirt that I have in the hole. Alrighty, well, the dirt isn't perfectly loose yet. I mean, still, rather. At first it was. Now, you get down to a certain point, and when you shove the diggers down into a hole, it's going to be just like hitting a rock. In fact, it might hit a rock. So, when you do that, it'll jar your arms. So what I do is I just throw it in loosely and let go. Now you can also throw it in, loosen it up, do a 90-degree turn on it. I do have to say, we have a bunny problem. I have put up an electric fence and he gets right through it. I've also put up, set out a trap, a humane trap to trap him and relocate him. Relocate them. We've had more than one. So, but the garden is tastier than the food in the trap. Even picking stuff out of the garden and putting it in the trap, after an hour or so, the garden still tastes better. So it hasn't worked. Unfortunately, I've had to resort to shooting them, and they are becoming fertilizer in the garden. So we've dug holes for them various places in the garden. That's the reason for this hole. I want to put one that I just shot in there. I'm not going to show it to you just in case you have a problem with that. So I am going to put this one in the hole, but this time I'm going to leave the hole open in case we get another one or two, and then they'll go in the same hole with the swamp water. Okay, the rabbit is in the hole. Now I'm going to put swamp water on top of it. I don't want another critter to smell it and try to dig him up and eat him. I know I've explained this in past videos, but I'm going to explain it again in case you've missed one of those videos. This is simply clippings from when I weed-eated all the weeds, and everything natural goes in here, and then fill it with water. And then let it sit and ferment. And then when it smells really, really nasty, then it's ready to use. So I'm going to put that in the hole with the rabbit just to mask the smell so that nothing else tries to dig him up. Now I'm going to backtrack and go cover what we've already done and just kind of explain the process, even though I'm not showing you the process. Sorry about that. Now this is where the birds have been eating the plants. This will hopefully take care of it. This is simply a netting to protect them. We were going to use hoops over it, but decided against it just because we both think that this is going to be just fine. So yeah, I will keep you posted on how this does. Now another thing Kim and I just did, Kim had the idea of trellising this zucchini up it should be climbing anyway, but it will also shade the rest of the plants over here from the evening hot sun. So really simple, just a piece of cattle panel, cut the ends off so that they just stab into the dirt, into the soil, holding those in place, and then just drive a T-post. And I use the wire ties that are designed for this. And a lot of people do use zip ties. In our climate, I think it dries them out, makes them brittle, and then they'll just pop after a year or two. And I believe that's it. So the job is not done until the tools are put away and you cleaned up. So got a handful of tools left to put away. Close this gate right here, and then I'm going in for lunch. And okay.
Like a catch for fish. I'm pulling the second year Swiss chard because it's gone to seed, and although it still tastes good, all of the energy is going into seed and not into leaves. So I was pulling it up, and this is how long the root is. It's a good plant. It mines in the soil for minerals, so that'll be good in the compost pile.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's so salty.
Oh, really?
Because our soil is salty, and it pulls it up through those big long taproots. Huh. Look at the bumblebee.
Where? Oh, wow. I don't think I've seen a bumblebee here yet.
Huh.
Oh,
No, and the plants that I bought on Friday,
mm.
one of them is a lantana that the hummingbirds like, and there's like two little bitty blooms, and I saw a hummingbird working them this morning.
That's awesome.
They found them already.
Wow. Wow.
How do they know? I don't know.
Okay, down here we have a problem now. Let's see. So far we've fought the pill bugs, rabbits, and now we're fighting birds along our cucumbers and melons. As far as I can tell, they haven't touched the cucumbers yet, but they've definitely gotten one of the melons. Hang on, I'll show you. This is just one example of the damage that they've done. Gotten like 2/3 of the way through that. So now we have to do something about it. The most humane thing we can think of doing is netting. So we're going to take netting down, I don't know how far, but down the hoops on both sides to try to protect at least those plants. Let's see how it goes. Hang on, I'll show you. This is just one example of the damage that they've done. Gotten like 2/3 of the way through that. So now we have to do something about it. The most humane thing we can think of doing is netting. So we're going to take netting down, I don't know how far, but down the hoops on both sides to try to protect at least those plants. Let's see how it goes.
Hi.
Okay, you want one end? Oh, there are two pieces. Which side do you want to start first? No.
Probably
Well,
this side,
this side?
right here. The seam.
Okay.
Because right now there's nothing worth picking over there.
Okay. This is square. I was trying to get the... No, it's not. Okay, good.
Yeah, well, it's not going to be enough.
It won't be.
Well, let's do what we have.
Right. And they haven't really bothered down there, so you want to move this down? Because we can always adjust later. Did we have one bundle there or two? One. Looks like the same thing. That's the only one, isn't it? Well, we've got that netting down there.
Yeah. Let's start with this.
Okay. Where do you want to start? Okay. And we're just using binder clips to clip it on. Kim also suggested clothespins.
How about giant paper clips?
Yeah, I like that.
You're having a hard time.
I am. I was struggling with that one. Okay.
Wow.
That's a shame. What is it? Can you tell?
No, but it was something I wanted.
That lay it out here and let them finish the job?
No, actually, I think I'm going to put it in the compost.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got tomatoes over here.
Oh, good.
Something else for them to eat.
It's a surprise every day. It's like Christmas.
Glug, 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 glug.
Okay, almost there. One more.
Oh, I know what that plant is now.
What plant?
There's a plant on bed number 1 in the upper garden
Mm-hmm.
that I know I walked by and told you I have no idea what this is.
Okay, I do remember that one.
Well, here's another one just like it, and I remember what that seed is.
Oh.
That's like a Mexican sunflower or something.
And we need to go back to the I think we're off camera. We need to go back to the last video. I think we'll see what some of those plants are up there. Or maybe that melon. Okay, one thing I've been wanting to show you is how to find tomato worms. The best thing to do is come out after dark. You can even come at dusk when it really starts getting dark. It's darker than now, of course. And use a black light. The tomato worms will glow in a black light. So you can shine the light on the plants in order to find the worms. Now, you can look and see where leaves have been chewed off the plants, and that's how you know you have them, and then use a black light to find them. Or you can just come out with a black light and find them even if you don't see evidence. We haven't found any this year, knock on wood, but I think it's because we've been so diligent over the last couple of years about picking them off and making sure it's nice and clean. We might not have any. I don't know. We'll keep our fingers crossed.
Hi, all. So for months, I've been wondering what this plant was. It started off really small like this. The leaves are kind of fuzzy. They're lobed. It was a pretty interesting plant. So I was just going to see what it was going to do. Well, I found out in a different bed, it had another seedling, and I remember what I planted there, and it's a Mexican sunflower. So it's supposed to be really good for the soil. I don't remember why. But anyway, sometimes it pays to be a little, I don't know, what's the word? Airhead like? Because then you get nice surprises later on. So I guess you should mark it, but I kind of like the surprise. That's it. That's all I got.
Hey folks, all right, we got about a tenth of an inch of rain, not much, but man, it's such a relief. We've had over 100 degrees every day for about 2 weeks now. It's been brutal. Now we are just had a nice break from that. I don't know what it got up to. It was, I think, upper 80s just now, maybe around 90. And then we got the rain. Now it dropped down to 78. So yeah, really nice right now. The plants are loving it. We just got one tomato. It has really been suffering. Now the weeds are doing great, but the rest of the garden, well, the plants are getting bigger, and we are getting fruit on them. So we do have some tomatoes there. Got a couple of cherry tomatoes that we planted really late, just because of the heat. We had to wait and let it cool down. There's one, the runt of the litter, one of the two. Here's the other one. And then we go down here to Seymour. Seymour is growing up and over the fence. So we have a couple squashes. They're going to be the size of pumpkins. There's one. There is a female. The bloom looks pretty dead, so I'm guessing it got fertilized. There was another female. There's a little bitty one. Hasn't opened yet. Long ways from opening, I think. At least a few days.
Yeah.
And another one. Where were you? There's one that just... Where is it? I lost it. There it is. Just burned up in the heat, looks like. And there was another one. I don't know. Another female around here somewhere. Now, in the females, what we have to do normally is take one of the males once the female opens, normally like first thing in the morning, take a male bloom and just fertilize the female. We call it doing the deed. But this year we've had enough bees that we don't have to worry about it. Still going to if we catch them open. We haven't really caught them open lately. It's just been so hot. But the bees have been doing their job. So that's doing well. Okay, the eggplants are doing good. Wait a minute. Just one eggplant. These are beans?
Purple hull peas.
That's right, purple hull peas. Purple hull peas. I always get tongue-tied on that one. And now we're getting into the peppers. Pepper plants are doing well despite the heat. The leaves have curled some, and I think everyone's enjoying this little rain we had just now. It just quit. Now we've covered the row of tomatoes because the birds were getting at them. So I picked one. They're not really ripening. I think it's been too hot for them. It's just kind of slowed their growth. And a few eggplants. Got a couple in here. Kelman's already picked some. Those two are really pretty. And down here to the cucumbers. Now we've got a netting over it, big enough. We didn't want to use that netting because we do need not the birds, the bees to get in here to fertilize. So those are just big enough for the bees to get in, but not big enough for the birds. We have had a problem with birds lately and rabbits. In fact, here is a cucumber that didn't make it. Now we have the beans trellising up, and the rabbit has been loving the bottom of the beans. And that amaranth is just gone. It's annihilated by the rabbit. We've had a lot of obstacles this year.
Peas.
More purple hull peas, thank you. Black-eyed peas, I'll just call them that. I can't say purple hull clearly on the first try. So this is a tromboncino. What is that? That's the long zucchini.
It's a long squash, and if you let it get completely ripe, it'll store like a winter squash.
Store like a winter squash? Oh.
Like a pumpkin.
Right. Oh, careful.
So you're
you're not on camera. There you are.
So you've got options.
Okay. Good.
And I don't see any squash bugs up here.
Okay, this year has been challenging. We started out the year really sick, out for a good month, a little bit more actually. Sick. We would get sick for about a week, recover, and then have a relapse. Then we went into excruciating heat. It's been above 100 degrees every day for a few weeks now. It's been brutal. We've been just draining our 2,500 gallon tank. So today's rain was really welcomed, really appreciated. Another challenge, we've had squash bugs. We've been kind of staying on top of those. I'll try to film those for you. I'll go over there in a bit, actually, see if we have any. And just to identify those, identify the eggs. So you have to get rid of those, stay on top of it. We've had birds. I talked about that when I showed you the netting. And we've had a lot. We've had a lot of rabbits. Rabbits have just been killing our garden. Are you going in? Okay. Rabbits have been killing our garden. It's just been brutal. We've tried everything. I've tried trapping them. I had a nice big cage and just plucked stuff out of the garden. But the thing is, after about an hour in this heat, the garden is still tastier than what I had in the trap. So the rabbits were just going at it.
Good boy.
Then, and we've tried everything. Tried to, sting them with a BB gun, and my shot is horrible. Now we have an electric fence, electric netting, actually. So nice. I've already tested it. It works. And just put that up today. I wish I'd filmed it, but I didn't. But we just put that up today. Have the solar controller for it. Nice to just turn it on and leave it. Hopefully the neighbors don't get zapped. I did put signs on it up by the road. Where am I? Right there. And hopefully that'll keep the rabbits out. I'm afraid that that mesh is too big. We thought we ordered it for rabbits. In fact, I know we did. It was labeled for rabbits. The mesh is pretty big. I think they can get through that. But hopefully the electricity will deter them. If not, then we'll be getting more. I know they have smaller mesh fence. So that's it for now. Till next time, please don't forget to subscribe and hit that thumbs up button.